it actually appears we have an anti-meta challenger in the room. Make sure you guys smash the like, crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more on us content. Now, this is a little bit of an interesting breakdown here. Now, this is going to be a top 9, and I understand you're like, wait, a top 9? How does that work? Well, there were 31 people for the Ponzu tournament, and this breakdown actually breaks a lot of what I have seen out of the Japanese meta right now. It tells me a different story than, you know, what we've been seeing between the Maliss and Riseal decks kind of fighting. But there's also a tale of some interesting challengers stepping into the room. So we did have 2 Maliss decks coming up to bat, which is normal. We also had an anti-meta deck, which ended up winning this event. Didn't see that coming. We had Memento, Riseal. We also had Evil Twins, Eldlich, Heraldic Riseal. And then we have this Shining Sark Regenesis deck. And you're not going to believe the idea that somebody is cooking with. Let's pass on over to deck list. All right, so starting things off here, you are going to see our anti-meta challenger. Now, the first things you're going to notice here are, yes, we're going with triple border, triple inspector border, but the OCG is a little bit cooler than we are. They have triple card demise, which actually makes some of these degenerate combination piles actually, you know, more doable there than they are here, which is kind of sad, actually, because I really wish I could experiment around with some of these ideas, but it does tell me that there are some broken ideas to be had, especially stun coming out of the woodwork. I know a few people have had success on the TCG side with the whole Clockwork Knight spell card, being able to convert your opponent's monsters to machine. It definitely makes them have to kind of rethink their strategy, because, you know, it turns off Fiendsmith combo, turns off, you know, some of the other stuff, not being able to rotate a light Fiend monster who's now a machine type monster. A little bit convenient. And that Maliss monster who's now a machine, it ain't linking out because it's no longer, you know, good stuff. All right, ooh, we have your Memento action. Now, from every Memento list I have seen out of the OCG, a lot of these are going to look kind of the same. I know we are going with 41 cards. This build is only playing triple Fua in the main, and also only 2 copies of Maxi. So you are having 5 copies of the draw power cards to ensure that you are going to get to those turbo options. Which is good. You've also got the triple Meows and your triple Perlea in here as well in the side. So, I mean, worst case, post-side decking, you know, you're bringing in 11 draw cards to, you know, offset and to find those cards to start to set up. So that's a pretty big thing. You have a lot of variance and a lot of swing in, you know, how this deck is going to modify itself with these extra draw power to make the matchup, you know, get streamlined and to do its thing. Ooh, we have our Riseal challenger. Now, I love that the OCG has definitely found a nice little piece of candy in the form of Small World in here. You know, you'd think with 7 Tachyon and all the extra stuff that this deck has that you'd be looking at Small World and going, nah, I don't really think that this is enough. Honestly, I understand. You know, being able to bridge the gap off of one of your hand traps to get you into the extra piece that you might possibly need actually does work out. You also do see we are main decking the Saber Hole now, having a new monster that effectively allows you to turbo get to this has definitely changed, I think, a lot of the OCG opinion on where, you know, the Plasma Hole lies. And of course, we are seeing the return of the Infernal Flame Banshee. I think we are going to continue to see that as a support card. It definitely is very, very strong. And of course, all the Mulcharmies in the world down here in the side deck. That part, I don't think, is going to change anytime soon. Ooh, we have your first Maliss list out here. Now, it's actually pretty crazy that we have fallen this far back to actually find our Maliss challenger. Now, you do see we are playing 2 copies of the backup Ad Ignister in here. I think 2 is okay. 3 feels absolutely good to me, but you've got people out here that are going to want to take that step back and actually decide, hey, you know, I don't think that that's going to be correct. That's fine. That's what deck building is for. It gives you that chance to figure out, hey, you know, this is what I'm going to go with. You're also going to notice we're doing the Code Talker in here, being able to bring back red and white together with the Code Talker setting up the specific interruption is really, really good. For what is left on this deck, it's very, very strong, man. You can try to draw into all the power cards you want to play this, but I don't know. The deck just does way too damn much. Next up here, we have a different sort of Maliss Challenger. This build is definitely playing on what the OCG was very fearful during the last ban list. You know how we had that triple allure and all those crazy things? Well, the OCG was abusing that grass looks greener and Fairy Tale Snow out here. By using Fairy Tale Snow's, I'm going to banish 7. Can you imagine the stack of Maliss monsters that's going to be coming back to destroy your opponent? That's the scary part. The fact that all of these Maliss monsters can jump back off of being banished off of Fairy Tale Snow is why the TCG doesn't have this variant. This deck, it definitely slowed down after the loss of Allure, though, which was a good thing. I'm telling you, Turbo Fairy Tale Snow is crazy, and I cannot believe that the OCG has not actually handled this card yet. Like, you guys are wild. Next up here, we have some Evil Twin action. Now, I'm happy to say that this deck actually showed up for this event. I've been trying to follow as much Evil Twin action as I can. It definitely is a lot more rogue than I was kind of anticipating, which I don't think is a bad thing. I just think that, kind of being in that awkward position does leave a little bit to be explored. Now, you also are going to notice we are playing some Sprite cards in here. You can kind of think the OCG's capacity for this engine, it's not very expendable. They still have some pretty heavy limitations on that stuff, which is crazy. But I also see we are doing the Degen Buster down there. So I guess that rank 2 actually has been seeing a little bit more play. And of course, if you're playing Evil Twins, you're going to play the Fiendsmith package. That's all there is to it. Fiendsmith cards equal good. Yes, I too love my opponent getting frustrated by, dealing with a Desiree and all the other little stupid stuff that comes with it. Next up here, this is our Regenesis Signing Sarcophagus deck. Now, what's kind of crazy about this is Summon Skull is a 2,500 attack point monster. Dark Magician also has 2,500 attack points. You can also use the Kiwi Magician Girl that you see on this list to actually turbo into the Dark Magician Girl, which puts 2 bodies on the field. That's a lot of stuff that this deck is doing. Now, you're also going to notice we have some, the 2 Sinful Spoils big boss monsters in here, because we can actually Rhoda for, I guess, whichever we need off of the spell, the field spell, which is kind of interesting in itself. But this 60 card concoction is truly a creature. I didn't think I would see anybody out here trying to cook up something like this, but I see you, Japan. You guys are very notorious for crazy ideas like this. This is nuts. Next up, we have some Eldlich for you. Now, Eldlich definitely has been getting its crap together. I do see this build is playing the Wandering Titan of Tartaros in the main deck, which is interesting. We're also going with the Boldrock in here. Okay, a classic. But you've also got the Summon Limit, which I too wish I could flip that card in the TCG. We're going with the Triple Angel, but we're also only dedicating 1 slot to the Eldlich Extra Deck monster. Also, this build's only doing 1 Varutus, which I think is fine, but they're also only doing, this is the crazy part, they're only doing 1 Silhat Rabbit in here, which is okay. And then, of course, we also have triple copies of the Guardian Schneider for, the generic cleanup for stuff. But I guess with the way that this deck is, you're relying on the counter trap to kind of clean things up. And honestly, this deck looks kind of what I was expecting it to. You're not getting too much in the crazy department. And our last list here actually is, well, the Heraldic Beast Riseal deck. Now, I see that they have just chummed down on this engine, which is kind of interesting. But we're also playing the rank up spell card in here. We're actually playing 2 rank up spell cards in here. Excuse me. I see you, OCG. You guys are getting a little bit cuter with your things. Rank up Magic Barian's Force actually seeing play right now. That is awesome. And I love that. So what do you guys think about these cool little things the OCG's been messing around? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.